How old is the earth? That's a question that many different people like to discuss and have different views upon. So we're gonna be looking at that question right here in this video. So without further ado, let's go, let's get it. What is up? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is ScottEbruh, and on this channel I answer questions about the Christian faith just like this one, and I share motivational and lifestyle tips to help you seek, know, and live biblical truth. So if you're interested in that type of content, consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can catch me in my next video. So how old is the earth? This is a question that many different people have different views upon. Even many scholars and professors and pastors in the Christian faith, a lot of different people share different perspectives and different views on this question. So in this video, I'm just going to share the two main views that many different people among the Christian community have. And just to let you know, this isn't a very scientific channel. All I typically use is the Bible as my resource because it's God inspired. So just a heads up, I'm not going to be going into a lot of the scientific data and scientific theories and things like that, because we all about the Bible on this channel. But if you want to weigh in on this question using the Bible and other resources, feel free to do so down in the comments below. So what are these two main views that many different Christians hold? View A is the old earth creationist view, which I'll be referring to as the OEC, old earth creationist, and view B is the young earth creationist, or the YEC view. And now for the rest of this video, I'm going to share some of the reasons, some of the ways in which both views share or explain why they hold the view that they hold. And then at the end, I'm going to share which view I personally side with. And I'm also going to share the most important takeaway you can have when answering and when looking at this question. So the first point is the OECs, the old earth creationists, believe that the Hebrew word yom, which means day, in the book of Genesis doesn't literally mean one day. Whereas the YECs, the young earth creationists, they look at that word day in Genesis and say that word literally means one day. And now really quick, in order for us to understand why it is that these two can hold these two different views, we have to keep in mind that there is 4 different meanings for the word day. Now the first meaning is day can refer to a 12-hour period. In Genesis 1 verse 5, God called the light day and the darkness night. And there was evening and there was morning. So here we see day being referred to as a 12-hour period. And the second meaning of day can refer to a 24-hour period. Like today is Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, or whenever you're watching this video, we know that day can refer to a 24-hour period. And the third meaning of the word day can refer to an even longer period. In Genesis chapter 2 verse 4 it says, "These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created. In the day the Lord made the earth and the heavens." So here we see the word day being used to refer to all 6 days of creation. And we still use day to refer to a longer period today. For example, if I was to say Michael Jordan was a good basketball player in his day, I'm not saying he was a good basketball player for 24 hours or for 12 hours. I'm saying that throughout the era, throughout the time in which he was in the NBA, he was a great player. So in that context, we can see day can be used to refer to an era or an even longer period than 12 or 24 hours. Now the fourth meaning of the word day refers to an even longer period, because in Hebrews 4 verses 3 through 5, it says that we're still in the 7th day because God is still resting. So we have to keep in mind that the YECs and the OECs, both of them disagree because there's these 4 different meanings of the word day. Now another point that the old earth creationists make is they'll look at Genesis 1 verse 12 when vegetation was created, and they'll say, well, we know that vegetation typically doesn't grow within a 24-hour time period. It usually takes longer than that. So we know that this word day being used doesn't refer to a literal one day. And then a point that the young earth creationists will make is they'll look at Genesis 1 verse 5 and they'll say, well, clearly we know that there was morning and there was evening. And also we'll have the OECs saying that the Earth is roughly 13.8 billion years old based off of the speed of light and the expansion rate of the universe. And the young Earth creationists, they'll make a point by looking at Exodus 20 verse 11 and say that that verse implies 6 literal days of creation. Keeping in mind these different reasonings that the OECs and the YECs make, one thing that's important to realize and recognize is whichever view you take, whichever view you want to hold, you have to make an assumption that you can't prove. For example, if you align more with the OEC view, you have to assume that God didn't speed up things like vegetation or the speed of light, which you can't really prove. God could have did that. Whereas if you align more with the YEC view, then you have to assume that God did speed up vegetation and things like that. And so the main point is we don't need to be divided over which view is correct. Instead, we need to focus on the fact that God created at all instead of focusing on when God created. So whichever view you take, it doesn't matter. That God created is more important than when. But if you're wondering which view I personally take, I personally align more with the OEC group just because I go under the assumption that God didn't change the speed of light and things of the sort. So that's just personally where I stand. But it's not like I'm gonna die and be on the judgment sheet before God and he's gonna say, well, you thought the earth was old, so sorry, you can't come to heaven. God's not gonna do that. So if you're an old earth creationist or a young earth creationist, know that it doesn't matter because that God created is more important than when. But reflection question for you, which view do you take? Do you align more with the old earth creationist view or the young earth creationist view? Let me know down in the comments down below. Also, is there a point that you want to make that I didn't add or didn't include in this video? You can also drop that down in the comments as well for either view, for the old earth or the young earth creationist view. Either one, let me know, add some stuff in the comments down below. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you want to subscribe and you want to see more videos from me. Thank y'all once again for tuning in. I just want to encourage you to seek, know, and live biblical truth in all that you do. ScottEbruh, and until next time, grace, peace.